Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events shaping our world. I'm your host, Walter. Today, we're starting with a developing story that's making waves globally. The U.S. military has confirmed an attack on a third Indian crude tanker off the Gulf of Oman. According to reports from the Economic Times, the vessel, Métis Jalvir, was attempting to transport oil from Iran through an American blockade when it was disabled by U.S. forces. The incident has sparked concern from the Indian government, with the Ministry of External Affairs expressing worries over the continuing attacks on shipping in West Asia. The ministry has called for dialogue and diplomacy to bring about an early return to peace and stability in the region. All 20 Indian seafarers on board are reported to be safe, with evacuation efforts underway. This incident is the latest escalation in the ongoing conflict between the U.S. and Iran, which has been affecting global oil supplies and maritime trade. The U.S. has been enforcing a blockade on Iranian oil exports, leading to tensions with countries whose ships have been targeted. As we continue to monitor this situation, it's essential to consider the broader implications of these events on global politics, economies, and the safety of international shipping lanes. We'll be keeping a close eye on developments and bringing you updates as more information becomes available. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're diving into the world of European Union politics, where a proposed overhaul of the EU's diplomatic service is making waves. French officials have put forth an internal paper suggesting significant changes, including a potential boost to the role of foreign policy chief Kaja Kallas. The goal is to improve the EU's response to crises, such as the war in Gaza, by streamlining decision-making and reducing institutional dysfunction. The paper outlines 3 possible options for reform: placing all EU foreign policy under the Commission, shifting the diplomatic services functions to the EU Council, or strengthening Kallas's role within the Commission. This third option would see Kallas become the first executive vice president, overseeing a range of policies including external relations, trade, and economic development. While some diplomats argue that institutional issues are not the primary obstacle to effective decision-making, others believe that reform could help reduce duplication and increase efficiency in Brussels. Kallas herself has welcomed the debate, acknowledging that the current system can be improved, but also emphasizing that the roles and responsibilities of EU institutions are clearly defined in the treaties. As one diplomat noted, the requirement for unanimous agreement on foreign policy among all EU members may be a more significant hurdle to overcome. The proposal has sparked a lively discussion about the future of EU diplomacy, and we'll be keeping a close eye on developments. Welcome back to Concrete Block. As we wrap up today's show, let's dive into some international news that's making waves. We're looking at a significant development in the UK, where the government is facing a crisis after the resignation of its defense minister. The minister, who had been a key figure in the country's defense strategy, stepped down citing disagreements over funding and the nation's ability to defend itself. This move has sent shockwaves through the British political landscape, with many seeing it as a blow to the current government's stability. The defense minister's resignation letter, which was made public, highlighted concerns over the lack of commitment to defense spending, particularly in the face of rising global threats. The implications of this resignation extend beyond the UK's borders, as the country is a key player in international defense alliances, including the AUKUS Pact with Australia and the United States. The AUKUS project, aimed at developing nuclear-powered submarines, has been a major point of discussion between the 3 nations, and the defense minister's departure may raise questions about the UK's ability to fulfill its commitments. As we consider the potential impact of this development, it's essential to acknowledge the complexities of defense policy and the need for governments to balance competing priorities. The situation in the UK serves as a reminder that defense decisions have far-reaching consequences, not only for national security, but also for international relationships and global stability. In conclusion, the resignation of the UK's defense minister has significant implications for British politics, defense strategy, and international relations. As this story continues to unfold, we'll be keeping a close eye on developments and bringing you updates and analysis. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.